Next up, I got Universal Language by Matthew Rankin. Now, this is going to be a really tough one to describe effectively because of just it is the style and the way it's presented. This is a Canadian production, I do believe. It's mostly in Winnipeg. So first of all, you're really in the Great White North here. And if anyone's seen my Winnipeg, you have an idea of what Winnipeg is like. It's a brutalist concrete sculpts, structures everywhere and snow. And that's kind of presented as everything in this world, just giant concrete structures and snow. What you have here is you have overall what the movie is kind of the immigrant experience of being an outsider and being in this landscape of Canada. And in this case, the outsider community is now, this is the weird thing. I couldn't quite place if it was Turkish or Iranian, and I apologize, but I was a little thrown off by that. I think well, the description said Tehran by Winnipeg by way of Tehran. So I assume that it's Iranian. But then there's other stuff that made me think it was Turkish. So I apologize for my lack of knowledge of different cultures from that area of the world. But you get the idea. Really people out of their own area of the world. They're not in their own place. It's culturally very different from where they come from. That being said, the structure of this movie is kind of interwoven tales. They're realistic. They're not like but the setting is hyper stylized, almost not quite to Wes Anderson degree, but almost the level of weirdness that's going on there. And I'll give you kind of an idea of how to say that. See, it's gonna be really this will either put you off or draw you in, and both I think will be a little bit wrong. Like if you love Wes Anderson, you're like, oh right, another Wes Anderson. It's not quite that, but you get touches of that. And if you hate Wes Anderson, you're like, oh, okay, I'm not going to go anywhere near this. Well, you might be missing something great. But I think it's a great way to kind of touchstone the kind of the vibe somewhat. In the beginning, you've got one of these classes, and it's a class of um, these kids from the other, immigrant kids that are all trying to learn French, and the teacher's really aggravated with them because they're all just not focused, and the kids are kind of in their own worlds, but whatever. He's trying to get the class together, and he finally points out this one girl, and she says, I can't see the chalkboard." He's like, "What? Where are your glasses?" It's a whole big hullabaloo over her not having her glasses. And then she tells a story about how she was out in the park, and this turkey encountered her, and it scared her, and her glasses fell off, and the turkey ran off with her glasses, and she doesn't have her glasses, and that's why she can't do the classwork. So then, the really mad teacher just said, "Okay, all of you into the closet. That's it. No class until she gets her glasses." And that's the kind of the set off of that story. And that kind of gives you a flavor. Like there's these kind of absurdist elements. You're like, "What a turkey? What are you talking about, turkey?" And there's this whole subplot of turkeys throughout this movie, and I'll get a little bit into that, but let's just say this part of the story essentially gets with her and her friends trying to get her glasses back or get her money to get other glasses, whatever. She needs to get her glasses back. And in that process, they're out in the snow, barren snow lands of Winnipeg. And on the ground, there's like, I don't know what, 4 inches of ice. And in the ice, they can see frozen a bill, like a money bill. And they're like, they want to get that. I don't know what the dollar or what it is, but they want to get that bill, chip it out of the ice so she can get her glasses. Well, that now they have to find a way to chip it out of the ice. They have to find an axe or something to get it out of there, and that leads them to go on a whole journey to try to find stuff. You say, look, that's the whole story right there, but no, it isn't really, because there's other stories. There's a story of a guy trying to travel back to Winnipeg to meet his mom, and in that process, he's on a bus with a turkey and a bunch of other people, and these are like actual full live turkeys. So once again, turkeys come into play, and he's trying to get back to his mom, and his mom has moved from their original house, and in the process, he goes by all these different shops. There's this whole sub thing of shops, like you'll just see like these brick walls with people selling just vacuums or just well, one place it sells just turkeys again. There's this whole weird humorous thing about they're in the turkey shop, and the guy's very proud of the turkeys he sells because he sells them, as food. But in the background, you're hearing gobbles and saws, and it's just a very, very odd movie. There's a subplot of someone giving a tour around to Winnipeg, which is absurd because it's not a place you'd really want to tour. And as a tour guide, he's showing them all the places. One of the places he shows them is a bench where someone had left a briefcase, 20 years ago, and it's become a monument site because, no one can never found out what was in the briefcase, and no one ever found out who left it behind, and just little stuff like that. So if this movie works for you, it will work for you because of the odd individual scenes and their interactions and these kind of stylized world that is created in this bleak landscape, brutalist landscape. If it doesn't work, it's because those things just pull you all the way out of the movie and you're like, why am I here? And I think a lot of people will fall into the why am I here camp, but I think for some people like myself, you're going to be surprised and actually find you are drawn into this movie. I ended up liking all the interwoven tales. I kind of liked the characters. I liked the world they created. The oddness of it and the kind of internal logic that it started creating really worked for me. I'll probably go 4 stars for this for universal language. I think this will be a real hidden gem for some people, and for others, it will be nope, not going to go anywhere near that movie. And I think Eric might be one of the second category. But yeah, I really liked Universal Language. I was surprised. I didn't know what it was going to be, and it really worked for me.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. For more movie and television reviews and interviews, please subscribe to my Deepest Dream channel. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, thanks so much for your support. Take care. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. For more movie and television reviews